In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 15, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Army versus UTSA. Last year, UTSA and Army went to battle, and then they went to battle further. The Roadrunners edged the Black Knights in overtime in 2022. This year, it should be another good game in San Antonio on Friday, September 15th. The defense for UTSA has been excellent, and Army's revamped offense could pose some problems if the Roadrunners are not ready. There are question marks of UTSA's starting quarterback, Frank Harris' availability. The Roadrunners didn't find too much resistance through the air when they faced Army last season, which I predict will be the case yet again in 2023. The Black Knights simply don't have the secondary talent to slow down Harris and his explosive group of pass catchers. The super senior takes care of the football too, which is crucial to covering a double-digit spread. While he suffered a first-half injury scare last week, he returned to the game, completing 70.3% of his passing attempts. I believe any concerns about his status are overblown and that he will be healthy and capable. The Black Knights managed 57 points against football championship subdivision Delaware State last week, but that was too easy for them. Instead, take a look at their Week 1 performance for insight into how they could play against Texas San Antonio. In that game, the quarterback struggled through the air, and the ground game couldn't get going aside from Marshall's 2 carries for 43 yards. The Roadrunners' secondary is strong, and Army's lack of run game success will make it challenging for the Black Knights to score more than the 13 points it squeaked out against Ole Monroe. Was I impressed with the Roadrunners against Texas State? Not entirely, but I think the Roadrunners are just a better option here compared to an Army team that, yes, dismantled Delaware State, but also is one that's still undergoing a bit of a philosophy change. And what we know about UTSA is when this Roadrunner offense is clicking, it can be hard to stop. I also think UTSA is the much better defensive unit as well. Harris and UTSA will blow away the Knights on Friday, so the UTSA Roadrunners to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The under is 2-0 in UTSA's 2 games and 1-0 in Army's lone game versus and Football Bowl subdivision team. The Roadrunners have only scored 34 points in 2 games, and the Black Knights managed just 13 against their only Football Bowl subdivision foe. I predict a high-scoring first half by UTSA, but after halftime, it will play more conservatively with a big lead in a game versus 13th-ranked Tennessee looming. The Roadrunners lost by 3 to Houston in Week 1, but there is still an opportunity for a 10-win season in San Antonio. Harris and company will have the offense humming against the Black Knights secondary, and the ground game should be able to consistently move the football, but there won't be any need to pile on points. Should Harris' injury be problematic, the under would be an even better bet, as his backup, Eddie Lee Marburger, didn't complete his only pass attempt in his relief last week. The Army offense is breaking in a new offensive system and a new quarterback this season. Plus, the ground game has been mediocre. Aside from its running quarterback's 4 yards per game average and 2 players with a couple of big runs, the Army rushing attack has been held in check, as its top 2 running backs have carried the ball 26 times for 73 yards. That's not to mention those stats include last week's 57-0 drubbing of an football championship subdivision program. The UTSA defense is big and talented enough to bottle up the Black Knights. With last year's experience as a cautionary tale, the Roadrunners will lock in defensively early, preventing Army from getting into a rhythm. The 2 teams have played in some low-scoring ball games so far, and that is a credit to their defensive fronts. They have both clogged up the middle and not allowed running lanes. This will keep the clock ticking and keep the ball out of their opponent's hands, making this total real small. The under is 3-1 this year in UTSA's and Army's combined games. Defense, 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 that will be the name of the game in Friday's matchup. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Virginia versus Maryland. A non-conference battle takes place Friday night across state borders when the Virginia Cavaliers travel to take on the Maryland Terrapins. Virginia is coming off a 1-point loss, losing 36-35 at home to James Madison, covering the 6-point spread as dogs. Maryland defeated Charlotte at home 38-20, but did not cover the 24.5-point spread as favorites. As is often the case with the non-Saturday games, the strange playing time puts a game on the radar for bettors that might not otherwise command much attention. The line is a little more than 2 touchdowns, which usually means the books want to scare us off from taking the home favorite. Let's start with Maryland. This team is all about Talia Tagovailoa. He is breaking school records left and right, and he is smart, athletic, and dangerous on the field. Tagovailoa has had his way with 2 lesser opponents to open the year, and I am not sure Virginia has the defensive prowess to slow him down much either. Virginia has opened the season against 3 electric offenses in Tennessee, James Madison, and now Maryland, and while the road will improve for the Cavaliers, it probably won't be this week. Virginia also has a lackluster offense, and they are dealing with a questionable quarterback situation at the moment too. Starter Tony Muskett was banged up in the opener against Tennessee, and his backup has performed well in relief. It is unclear who will play on Friday or how effective they might be. Taken as a whole, Virginia has a bad offense and a below-average defense, and this is why they are expected to finish at the bottom of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Maryland has a really strong offense and an acceptable defense, and this makes them heavy favorites. The Virginia Cavaliers haven't been able to do anything productive on either side of the field. The offense has been atrocious, and the defense has probably been even worse. An argument can be made that Virginia is the worst team in a Power 5 conference through 2 games. It's been awful at both ends of the field. Maryland has a top 40 offense in the country through 2 games, and the defense has been respectful outside of getting gashed at times on the ground. It's just 2 games, and the competition for both sides hasn't been great. Still, the Terps are big favorites for a reason, even if they're just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games as double-digit favorites. While minus 14.5 is not my favorite kind of number to play, I do think Maryland is quite a bit ahead of Virginia at this point. So the Maryland Terrapins to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. I don't see this as a shootout, but Virginia just gave up 36 points to James Madison. The Dukes don't have a Tagovailoa at quarterback, who not only can sling it all over the field, but also has the ability to run the football. While Maryland will certainly score at least 30 points, they will also give up some as well, since this is the first Power 5 offense that they'll be playing. At some point in this game, Virginia will go back to Colandrea at quarterback to give them a better chance to win than Muskett. Virginia saw how successful the offense can be with the freshman Colandrea under center. Even if they go back to Muskett, the pressure will be on to score. Maryland has been turnover prone early in the year, which can lead to quick scores in the other direction. Virginia is allowing 447 yards per game, so even if Maryland does not play flawless football, they will still be able to put up points. Virginia is averaging 24 points per game, and Maryland is averaging 38. While this clearly is not insider knowledge, I do not see either offense slowing down in this one. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah State versus Air Force. The Utah State Aggies and the Air Force Falcons meet Friday in college football action from Falcon Stadium. Utah State played Idaho State in their last game. The Aggies would go on to win in a 50-point blowout. As for Air Force, they're coming off a matchup versus Sam Houston. In that one, the Falcons powered out a 10-point win. For starters, Cooper Legas, a senior, beat this Air Force team last year in a 34-27 game in Utah. The signal caller went 18-23 for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He also added 76 yards and a touchdown on the ground. So, we have an experienced quarterback going on the road against a team that he has found success against, and we're getting 10 points. This Utah State team is a tad underrated in my opinion. I'd like to once again touch on how they were able to hang around with Iowa in Week 1, losing just 24-14. That's a game where they were getting 24 points. I'm kind of surprised Air Force is favored by more than a touchdown here. Yes, they are 2-0, but they are 0-2 against the spread and have not looked all that impressive, given the level of competition. The home field is the big advantage for the Falcons, but it is not enough to allow the Falcons to cover. The Aggies have been very impressive in their 2-0 games and are 2-0 against the spread. Utah State gave Iowa everything it could handle and covered easily. This Utah State offense, if they're able to take care of the ball, should keep this game close, if not win outright. Honestly, I'm not quite sure why the Aggies are catching 10 points in this game. There are a myriad of reasons why I'm backing Utah State plus the points on Friday night. So the Utah State Aggies to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Air Force's strength is its defense. As I mentioned earlier, this team was the top-ranked unit in all of college football last season, allowing just 13 points per game. So far through 2 games, the Falcons have given up 10 points over 120 minutes of action. While I think Utah State will find some success, I expect for Air Force to make life difficult. Finally, we have a very inexperienced quarterback in Zach Larrier going for the Falcons. Throughout his career, he has only completed 6 passes and added 58 carries. He'll take on a Utah State defense that limited the Iowa Hawkeyes to just 24 points. And Larrier hasn't faced a defense of this caliber. Sure, Utah State isn't the pinnacle of defense, but they may be a step up compared to Robert Morris and Sam Houston. The Falcons play very good defense, and they make no secret of the fact that they are going to run and run often. This should all add up to a game that is played in the trenches, especially since Utah State favors the run as well. Utah State has a good defense as well, holding a top 25 team in Iowa to 24 points, so I see them keeping Air Force below 20 points. This outcome should stay well below the total. When Air Force plays, especially at home, you can be fairly certain that it will be a low-scoring game. We should see the clock grind away in this game. I believe that points will be at a premium here. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.